Hello everyone, sorry for the delay. I've had a bunch of stuff to do and for some reason the audio wouldn't work on this, so all we're going to do on this one is just some general improvements. I'll do some other stuff when I have the time, but for now, let's go to character.py, and I'm not sure if you caught this, but I obviously didn't. If you notice, I've got an attack function and a flee function, but I also have another set of attack and flee. So all I'm going to do is just get rid of the bottom ones, and if you haven't caught it, or if you were like me and for some reason made another one, just delete them. So another thing we're going to do is come up to the isAlive function and put the @ symbol and say property, which really just allows us to treat this as if it's an attribute instead of a function, so we don't actually have to call it. And before I forget, well, now you can get rid of that. And before I forget, let's go to play.py and let's remove the parentheses from while player.isAlive. That way we don't get the error which would tell us that we're trying to call a boolean object, which obviously you can't do. So now if you go to items.py, we're going to add a new function. We're just going to call it isFull. So def isFull, pass in self. And then we need to make a count variable. We need to loop through our items, and if you remember, also, by the way, this is bad practice. Replace those, or replace dict, open end parentheses, with curly braces. That's how we declare an empty dictionary. So anyway, so now we just say for value, well actually let's just call it number, let's call it amount, why not? For amount in self.not capacity, in self.items.values, which simply gives us, the values. If this is a key and this is a value, right? So everything on the right side, or everything that's assigned to a key, that's the value. So anyway, so now all we do is just say count plus equals amount, and then we just say if count is greater than or equal to self.capacity, then we return true, else return false. That's done. So now anytime you need to check and see if the character can pick something up, just use character or player or whatever you called it. I called it player, so I would use player.inventory.isFull. So if I'm checking to see if it's full, just do if player.inventory.isFull, then yeah. You can also turn this into a property, by the way, so you don't have to call it. So now, you can get rid of that, it's all good. So, on this one, this is kind of an issue here. This is actually a bug. It's a fairly subtle bug, but still it's a bug. So, if you look, we loop through our actions. We basically don't give the player the ability to fix a typo if they did. So, like if you're in battle, then, if you accidentally put 1 T instead of 2 in attack, then it won't let you attack, and it'll still let the enemy attack, so you lose a turn, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up above the play game function, and we're going to say def action prompt. Obviously not self derp. So now we have to pass in available actions, which obviously is what we're going to loop through. So say print, what would you, let's just use this. Please choose an action from the list. And now we just say for action and available actions, print action dot keyword dot title to make it into a title case. And if you don't know what that looks like, this is title case, whatever. So every first letter of each word is capitalized. So now all we have to do again is let's say action input equals input action, and then now we need to lowercase it, so we'll just say action lower equals action input dot lower, and you can just reassign this, so you can just call this action input, but it's not good practice because it's kind of difficult to read for some people. So now let's go ahead and go through our actions again. So for action and available actions, if action lower is equal to action.keyword.lower. Oops. Then we return the action. Remember, these are objects, so if you try to put in, like if you were to append, for example, if you were to append Q, so if we say available actions.append, some type of string, it will give you an error when it goes to do things, or goes to loop through, because we're trying to access the keyword keyword variable of the action object. So you can't do that, and we'll get around that by doing this. So if they haven't entered something that's in our available actions list, then all we do is make sure, or well, we check and see if the thing that they put in is equal to Q or whatever you chose for quit. So we just say if action lower equal to Q. I used Q, so then we just say print thanks for playing, quit. And then now, if we've gotten to this point, they haven't chosen something they're actually able to do. So let's say print. I don't know. Let's change this because I want to use that at the bottom. So we'll just remove that. Let's do that. Okay. And action from the. I can't type. From the list. Okay. And then all we do is just return action prompt and give it the available actions again. And so all that's going to do is it's going to tell them to choose an action. We're going to loop through our available actions. We're going to print out the keyword in the title case so it's pretty. We're going to prompt them for an input. We're going to lowercase that input, and we're going to loop through our available actions. We're going to check and see if their input is equal to any of the keywords. If it is, then we return the action object. If it's not, then we need to check and see if they pressed Q or whatever you chose to put for quit. Then we just say thanks for playing and quit. Now if we've gotten to the point down here, we tell them to choose an action from the list and then just reprompt them again. So now down here we can remove everything we've done with this. So for example, obviously we can now remove the loop where we print out the actions, and then we reassign, actually let's call this action just because it makes more sense because it's an action object. Then we just assign the return of action prompt to the action variable. We have to pass in available actions, and then we can remove this for loop and simply have player.doAction. And we can do this obviously because we are guaranteed that whatever is assigned to action is a proper object. And then since we've already accounted for quit in the action prompt, we can remove that. Now I don't remember if we did a battle script yet, but if we haven't, I guess here's a sneak peek. So we're just going to do the exact same thing down here. So we're just going to name this action. We're going to remove the print, and then we are going to obviously assign the return of action prompt with the available actions to action. We're going to remove that, remove the other loop here, do the action, and then we're good. So let's see if that works. But what we're going to do now, actually, yeah, this is actually okay. So let me show you this. So now if we go here, let's try it. So python3 play.py. Okay, now we're being attacked by a goblin. If we accidentally press floop, please choose an action from the list so the goblin doesn't have the ability to attack. Now we can make this a little bit prettier by going back to our code. Go over to action prompt. Let's go ahead and put a new line on this. Put a new line on here. And then to give it more urgency, let's put 3 exclamation points and put a new line on it too. This way is just a little bit easier to distinguish, what's being done. So we'll go back to it. I'll show you that. My bad. Let's just do floop. See, if we had it the way we did before, then the enemy would be attacking right now. So, but because we have this new way of doing it, we can actually reprompt the users. Let's just attack them. XP. Okay, so here's another little lesson on reading these tracebacks, which are errors traceback. So at the bottom you'll see in this file on line 129 in the attack function we put XP, which is an undefined variable because obviously we haven't defined that, which we will in the future. So where do we do that? Let's use that XP. What? What? Oh, wait. I was looking in play.py and it's in character.py. My apologies. So we go here, go to attack, and you can see we have XP here. Now, we'll do that, we'll deal with XP and leveling up in a later video. If you can figure out how to do it, great. Then, you know, these videos helped. But remember, the main point of these videos is to try and teach you how to do this on your own, right? Do not just follow along word for word, line for line, because then you won't actually learn anything. Just play with it, you know, it's okay to mess up sometimes, it doesn't matter. You know, how else are you going to improve? So just go through, you know, mess with it, change things. If you have any questions, you run into a problem, let me know. I will help you as much as possible. So now we've got that. Let's go ahead and turn back to our terminal. Let's play it again. Great, we're being attacked. Fantastic. Flee. You attempt to flee, couldn't escape. Let's try it again. Flee, couldn't escape, but the goblin attacked me and the goblin missed both times. Great. Let's quit. Oh, I did miss, or I did flee. Wow. That's rare. Every other time I've done it, I have not been able to flee. So, just so we can walk around without actually being attacked, let's go back to the code, go up to the randomize function, and we've got 100% chance of being attacked. So let's just put 85 on both of these, and then let's go ahead, go back, and now you can see how I set things up for this. So okay, we are in a forest now, right? So let's say go north, we're at 1 tile step, go north, we're 2 tile steps, go north, 3, and this should be the final one in this tile. Now we walk through an overgrown, seemingly empty, mystical forest. Woohoo! And we still get to choose an action, or we still get reprompted. So now, obviously, we can quit, and this is pretty much what the game's going to look like. At some point, it's possible that I might go through and show you how to do, like, formatting in your terminal, but you know, it depends on how things go, and obviously I'm not on a strict schedule to upload these because I've got a lot of stuff to do, you know. Still building that website, trying to get a job, all these other stuff. So, forgive me again for the delay, but here you go, here's something. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. Let's actually run through it one more time just to try and explain things just a little bit more, and I'll try to go through it really quick. So, with our action prompt, actually let's start at items. So in our items we declared this as a property, so we don't have to call isFull as a function. We can just use isFull without any parentheses. So we set a counter at 0. We loop through our values, which are the any value. Okay. So in our items, let's say our weapon is I don't know. Let's say it's a weapon object, right? Because we have weapon objects. And then how many of that object we have is assigned to that key. So now when we loop through our values, we just, whoops, my bad. Then we just add the amount to the count, and then once we're done looping through the values and we get all the, you know, we add everything up, we check and see if the count is greater than or equal to the capacity. If it is, then we return true, meaning it's full. Otherwise we return false, meaning it's not full. So then if we go over to character, we pretty much did the same thing with isAlive. So all we did here was just made this into a property so we don't have to call it. And then we changed out how we dealt with prompting for actions by just making a simple little action prompt. So all we did here, took in the available actions from whatever tile we're on, and then we told the user to choose an action. We printed out those actions in the title case to make it look pretty. Then we prompted them for an action. We made that action, or whatever their input was, into lowercase. We loop through our available actions, and then we check and see if their input lowercased is equal to the lowercase version of any of the actions. And if it's not, then we finally make sure that they didn't just press Q or enter Q, and if they did, obviously thank them for playing and then quit. And then if they didn't even enter that, then just tell them with urgency by using the exclamation points. Just tell them please choose an action from the list, and then we return the action prompt. And then that way, you know, they can actually do stuff without having to worry about accident or having to worry about entering things exactly as they are. So thanks for watching. Again, sorry for the delay, but here you go. Alright, have a good one, everyone. If you have any questions, let me know. Peace.